Hi guys, good to see you're all still with me. Now, we've already looked at a number of different graphs and charts to describe, and we're going to continue. We've got two more graphs to do. The first one, which we're going to do now, is a line graph, only a line graph. There are actually, in this question, two line graphs to describe. Okay, so we'll do this one question, and we've got another one left, which will be in the next lesson, and that will be on a bar graph. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. So, as usual, we're going to first of all look at reading and understanding the question. Then, again, as usual, is understanding and interpreting the graphs. Okay, within that we'll explain all the trends and the changes that you can see by the lines. Okay, so that's what we do there. And then we'll move on to paragraphing. Okay, and that will be the end of this description of the graph. Now, you've already worked slowly through some other graphs, so that's why this one is going to be a little bit quicker. So you should have already understood the processes. So we're taking out a lot of the detail that you will have seen in the previous lessons. Okay, we're just getting straight to the point today. Okay, so let's take a look at our question. So, what we've got here is a question about vehicles, licensed vehicles and vehicle ownership, in particular cars. Okay, so we can see that the graphs show the number of licensed cars in the UK from 1982 to 2006, and, which is the second graph, household access to a car from 1980 to 2005. So basically it's the same time period for each graph. It's tiny differences in the years, in the number of years. Okay, let's take a look at these graphs a little bit more closely. We can see in detail here that we've got the two graphs. The one on the left is describing the numbers of these licensed vehicles which are in the UK between those two dates. Okay, you can see that from the green line, and we can see that that's rising. Okay, on the right hand side we can see household access to a car. Okay, so this is the number of cars which average households have access to. So how many cars do different households own in the UK? So some people own no cars, some people own one car, and some lucky people, own two or even more cars. Okay, and each of those is represented by different lines, different coloured lines on the second graph. Okay, you can see that there. So what about these trends? How are these trends changing? Okay, so let's describe the trends. First of all, the most significant trends for the number of cars, the number of licensed cars in the UK. Okay, so we'll take the first graph individually. Okay, so here we can see that the number of cars is starting at this point, which is just over 15 million cars, okay, in 1982. And if we move towards the end of the graph, we can follow the circle to the end, and we can see in 2006 we've got between 25 and 30, so about 27 million licensed cars in the UK in 2006. So we can see that the general trend here is upwards. Okay, so the graph shows a general rise. Figures started at 15.5 million. Figures ended at 27.8 million. This was a rise of 80%. Okay, you can do the calculation yourself to make sure I'm right. Now, putting these into sentences, we can have a number of different possibilities. Okay, so first one could be there was a general rise in the number of licensed vehicles or motor vehicles in the UK from 15.5 million in 1982 to 27.8 million in 2006. Or we could say there was an 80% rise in the number of cars licensed in the UK over the whole period, using a different time phrase, increasing from 15.5 million to 27.8 million.